Hey YouTube, Will here from All Electric, back again with some smart summon testing. Huge shout out to Nicola Pro and Akrama Tool for my All Electric Patreon supporters. Go over to Patreon and you can support me over there for as little as $1 a month. 2019.40.50.7 is what you're going to see running all these tests. So my car is running the latest software version to date, running all these smart summon tests. You can see there's only 2 ways for the car to get around, so it's definitely going to go around this median in order to get to the front of the building to pick me up. Now this is what Smart Summon currently is designed for, to go from a parking spot to the front of the building. I know I got some feedback in one of my last videos because I was testing it in the opposite direction, and I would guess I was complaining that it wouldn't park itself. You can see right now I don't have eyes on my car and it's making me a little nervous, so I'm going to run here just a bit to make sure I can still see the vehicle. And so I can see it now through the trees. There's no other cars around right now, so that's good. This is still in its infancy and you are still required to maintain control of your vehicle, so obviously I don't want it to hit anything. But it makes a beautiful U-turn right there. Slows down a little bit. I know it did not slow down for me. It slowed down for this car that I'm standing next to, and then it slows down again almost to a stop right there before it speeds up and heads straight to that target point. Really a beautiful smart summon here. It operated almost flawlessly except for a couple hiccups where it kind of slammed on its brakes for no reason, but it stopped right on the target point, right in front of the building, so if it was pouring down rain, you could just run right out. Very, very impressive. So now I want to jump to, I'm actually going to be in the car and I'm going to show you the app view, but I'm not driving. You saw the steering wheel move there, and I am summoning the car using the app while I'm sitting in the car, and that's so I can take control if need be. You saw the car stop right there. I'm not sure if it saw the cone or not, but I'm running the hardware 2.5 version, so I don't have the 3.0 that will show you the cone, but I'm not sure if the older CPU is able to identify that an object is there. So it slows down a little bit before it crosses. You can see here on the map, on the little display of the app, before it gets a little tight to these cars here on the right. I know it is trying to get to the target point, which is about right on this car, and it does get close enough to the target point before it does end up doing a summon complete, as long as it gets close enough to that target point. Now I've moved the target point, and you can see that on the mini map. That is the app view. That's the view that you see as the user if you weren't in the car. So I'm showing you both views, what you see in the car, although ideally if you're doing smart summon you're not actually in the car. Now you saw how it says slowing down for intersection, and then it proceeds to go really wide around that curb there, making sure that it doesn't hit it. And you can see that not only from the map view, but also from the view out of the windshield. And then it does another slowing down for intersection right here, which I don't really understand. I guess it saw that little brake, but didn't really make sense as a driver. So then it gets a little bit close to that curb before it slows down for intersection again, before it kind of makes a wider turn to ensure that it doesn't hit that right curb during this right-hand turn. And I also really like how it's traveling down this right-hand side, although my target point is on the right-hand side, so that's probably why it's sticking to this right-hand side, but that's ideal, what we like it, except for that move right there where it gets a little close to those cars, a little bit closer than I like, before it says summon complete. But now you see this roundabout here, and I'm going to actually try to get the car to go through the roundabout and actually follow that black car that we just saw through the windshield. So you can see the blue line on the app view, and it shows that it knows exactly where it needs to go around that roundabout, and you can see it enters the roundabout really smoothly before it continues on the roundabout, although I would like to see it a little bit smoother, but it is still going 5 miles an hour, now dropping to 3 to 2 to 1. So it says slowing down for intersection, although there is no intersection in the roundabout right there. And now it is making the right-hand turn out of the roundabout. If you follow my channel, you know that I have tested the roundabout with autopilot, and it was not as successful as the smart summon is. So definitely some room for improvement. It did slow down significantly, but it was impressive that it was able to get through. So now we're going to go up here to this intersection, and we're going to force the Smart Summon to make a left-hand turn through the parking lot. Getting a little nervous here because I see this other SUV coming, and it does make a turn into a parking spot there. I thought it was going to come my way. Getting a little nervous. Now we see it's slowing down for this intersection here. I would like the Smart Summon to go a little bit faster. It does turn on the left-hand turn signal and then go up to its max speed, 5 miles per hour, before slowing down to 2 and then back up to 5 during that left-hand turn. Not very smooth, but it is on the right-hand side of the road, which we like to see in the United States here. We do drive on the right-hand side, so that is very typical. Even though the target point was on the left-hand side, it waited till the last second to cross, which is exactly what we would expect from a normal human driver, staying on the right-hand side of the road until you're trying to pull into a spot. Now we do have a big truck that's going to drive past us right here, so we'll let them pass, and then we'll initiate the summon just so we can avoid any collision. So we're going to initiate the summon. You see blinkers go on, the hazard lights go on for a couple blinks before it goes into reverse and now into drive, which you can see all of this in the app view or on the center display. So even if I was not in the car, the center display still comes on. So for example, if I was sitting in the back seat, the center display would still come on. Now it is on the kind of the left-hand side of the road and making a very awkward left-hand turn. You can see the turn signal is on, but although it is kind of struggling going around these curbs here, it doesn't hit any curbs, which is great. It's able to navigate all these curves. If you look closely in the rear view camera, we see a red car right behind us. Now the Smart Summon actually came to a complete stop, down to 0 miles per hour, before this guy kind of jumps out in front, which it then says waiting for pedestrian. So really attentive and a lot of great safety features here. Not only seeing the car behind it, I think, to come to a stop, but also that pedestrian almost immediately. Very impressive how I was able to identify that a pedestrian was there. But what's not as impressive is how close it gets to this BMW just to get to that target point. So now I'm going to move the target point straight down, exactly straight down this parking lot, which should be fairly easy for the Smart Summon. So once the summon is initiated, so that was a bit of a glitch with Smart Summon, how it just automatically stopped. So let's try that again. I'm holding down on the button now, and now we're in reverse and now in drive, heading straight down this parking lot, straight in front of us if you look at the windshield. And you can also look in the app view to see the blue line, and that's going to let you know where the car thinks it should go. Now it does go a bit to the left, but it does end up correcting and staying on this right-hand side of the road. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you think the Smart Summon is smart enough to stay on the correct side of the road? Or do you think the Smart Summon is just staying on this right-hand side because the target point is on this right-hand side of the road? Now, I want you to pay close attention to when it gets to the target point. Take a look at the center display. So it said summon is stopping. So for whatever reason, the summon is stopping, but look at the message that we got. Auto park aborted. So it's interesting that it said auto park aborted. It's almost like they have something that they're not sharing with us that we're probably going to see on the next software update, like the auto park feature that we've been waiting for. Although a couple people on YouTube have posted videos where their cars are actually parking themselves, but I'm kind of skeptical because when I saw those videos, I really thought it looked like they just played the video in reverse. Okay, we've initiated another summon, but check out this error message. Maximum distance has been traveled. So that is really odd. So that's the only time I've ever seen that error message. We're going to let this truck go past first before we initiate the next summon. So I've moved the car now, and we are pulled into a parking spot, and I've counted parking spaces, and I've set the target point to an exact open parking spot over here next to all these cars. So if you are familiar with autopark only works if you're in between two cars. So we are able to see that there is one open spot in between two cars, and I really want this car just to pull in there and initiate an autopark, but it just kind of weirdly pulls close enough and says summon complete. So we are not there yet. So now let me pull over here, and I'm going to try that one more time. I'm going to back into this spot here, and I'm going to initiate a summon to the same target point. So the target point has not changed, I've just changed my starting location. Now if you recall, coming up this right-hand side of the parking lot is the same spot where we got the error message, autopark aborted. So let's see if we get that same error message again. So we are approaching the open parking spot, and now we have a huge white truck coming, and the Smart Summit is struggling a little bit. Now going in reverse towards the truck. Okay, I'm going to put my foot on the brake here just to make sure that it doesn't back into that truck. So I aborted that test there, and now we're going to reinitiate the test, and here we go, we're in drive again, and you can see that it is just struggling to get forward to that target point. It's almost like it can't see that there's an open spot there, and it is strictly just trying to navigate the parking lot and is not made to pull into a parking spot yet. It's obvious to me that the Tesla engineers working on this software have not married together the Smart Summon and the autopark feature. I'm really hoping in the next software update that should be pushed out in the next week or so has these two features married together so that we can all finally have the car park by itself. Now it's probably going to work out to where it only parks by itself when you're in between two cars, but if you're like most Tesla owners and you don't park in between two cars, you park in the back of the parking lot. Wait, which one is mine? Can you guys tell which one's mine? Okay, if you guessed the one on the right, you would be right. Check out the blue line on the app screen and you're going to see that we are going to the back of this parking lot around a couple medians, and pay close attention to how this car navigates around these medians. It's going the maximum speed, 5 miles per hour, which also shows you on the app view on the right hand side of that screen there. And it is going the max speed for almost the entire time until it gets a little bit close to this median here, and it almost wanted to turn in front of it, but then you could see that it went straight before going around the median where that blue line was going to take it. Although I would say it's a little sloppy driving over these parking spots, and then it just kind of ends right here. I just wanted it to pull into a spot, but again, that will be coming in a future update. And I got the great idea. I was like, well, maybe let's see what happens if I just move the target point to right behind this car, and it'll probably go in reverse, right? Well, no, it's going to do this crazy roundabout 6-point turn where it makes a ton of turns just so it can drive forward. So it's not as smart as we would like to have it, and this is where it ended up. So now let's make the target point right on the other side of this median to see how the car handles being so close to the median, and especially coming from this direction. So you can see the reverse lights come on, and the app tells us that the car is going into reverse, and it is pretty smooth in reverse. Not too many cars around, so not very challenging for the Smart Summon, except for this one car right here out of the view, and it got about within, I would say, 18 to 24 inches of that vehicle. Now it slows down for an intersection, which looked kind of smooth because this Highlander was pulling out kind of in front of the car, so it was almost pretty smooth until it does this and turns on this side of the median and then realizes, oh wait, let's throw it in reverse because we can't drive through the curb. So at least the Smart Summon is smart enough to identify the curb, although I would hope that it picked up that data from the map image, whereas a human driver could easily see the curb and realize that it had to go around it to get to its target point. But then it just says, whatever, we're close enough, summon complete. Tons of Smart Summon tests today, and I'm really interested to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment down below, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one.